If you've listened to the Gypsy Tales podcast for any length of time, you've definitely heard me harp on about technique. I watch his technique. At this point, I'm borderline a heretic for it. In spite of my seeming obsession with motocross technique, I've actually never officially had any coaching. That is until now. One of my good mates and ex-world champion Ben Townley has flown across the ditch to spend a couple of days coaching, and we decided to document the process. This video is long, but we decided to keep it that way for anybody out there that really wants to use any of these awesome tips to apply to their own riding. In this video, you'll notice a pretty rad retro graphics kit on the 350, and that graphics kit is from this video's sponsor, Rival Inc. This retro kit is available on rivalinkdesignco.com, and these boys can get you one of these kits from anywhere in the world. All you need to do is head to rivalinkdesignco.com or hit the link in the description and make sure you use the code GYPSYGANG at checkout for 15% off. And now enjoy this video that we have lovingly dubbed the Make Gypsy Ride Less Shit Than the Shittest Rider in the World project.
MX farm here. I don't know if this, what is this, mid Queensland? I don't even know where, no, I don't know where we are. We're at Gympie. It's a day for me to do some work with the Gypsy and just give him some understanding of my philosophy of coaching and see if we can get him to, remove some bad habits and implement some good habits and progress his riding. I guess the big thing I work on is improving technique, so it gives you confidence, and then from that, speed basically comes with it. So that'll be the goal for today. He puts a lot in slow-mo, so it's hard to know, but just try and get him to relax and give him an understanding of how to relax, what parts of his body to use to be able to have that good relaxed feeling to then let the bike flow and be more fluid on the track.
What's happening today is Ben's flown from New Zealand to show me how to ride because I sucked so bad at Manji. He was actually embarrassed to be my friend. So this is my last ditch effort to stay friends with Townley. After this, it's over. It
helps when you ride though, eh? That would be one thing that you could probably just automatically do is ride.
Just ride more?
Yeah, that would be a good start.
So yeah, we're mic'd up. And look, we're going to see what happens when you have someone good tell you how to ride.
Is that better now? I probably won't talk to you, every now and then I will if you're doing something rapidly wrong, but it'll just be more when you're not, when you're not like hard at speed, Yeah. Okay, so. Just transfer as the weight goes through the ramp. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hook another gear when you're in that range. Just it's right on. Yeah. So when you come through, if you hook another gear in the air or when you land, probably if you could in the air, and then you'll have way more control. It'll be way more torquey for you to control it because it's quite peaky in that.
Because I'm in third now.
Yeah, I'd be fourth, and you'll have much better control. You'll have to adjust your momentum because it will go faster. Yeah. Adjust your throttle. Sorry.
Feels way better.
See, yeah, that for you, from that point up, you just need to you almost like overthink it, like you're doing it, but it's quite rigid. Just try and relax that posture a bit.
So like just let the bike come in a bit more.
Exactly. As you come into the ramp, you mesh together and come at one with it. Yeah.
Cool. I could feel that one.
Mate, way better, eh?
Yeah, that felt way better.
Yeah, but like right in the transition, you'll see as you commit, the question you ask, do I pull myself forward? No, you just naturally,
you have to go forward.
Yeah, you have to go forward, right? Because if you go back, you're going to be ending up like Pastrana.
That felt so easy and comfortable then, like.
Why it feels easier is because you're actually using the bike to do the jump. You're not letting the jump, you know, like the speed and the jump take control. You're taking control of the jump. Way better with your chest, way better. I'll explain something else. This is a perfect example, right, of focusing on something. So you did the actual body posture really well, but it was light on commitment, so try and mesh them together. Just something to also think of when you do that corner, you do it really well sitting nice and square on the bike. Just don't let your foot on a turn like that be low because it'll pull you down. Does that make sense? So as you transition in one transition, so you go there, you get onto the face of the berm, just transition in one, but lead it with that foot higher.
So just leave it kind of like up like
Nah, just extend out, sorry. Yeah, extend out more, like it's sort of sitting like that, just extend out more. Yep. Because when you're leaned over so much, right, and your foot's low, it drags you, yeah, exactly, yeah. But yeah, the jump, the actual posture was perfect, you just lacked a bit of commitment. That's because you were thinking about the posture. That's totally normal, right? One, you give up one for the other. So gear change, just focus on the gear change. The posture in the turn with the leading leg was perfect. Just sit your bum forward because there was too much weight on the rear. That's why it slipped. So just sit a little further forward on the seat, but the actual technique was perfect. Easiest way for you to do that corner better is to just have a slightly more acceleration and less braking. The technique's perfect. Just let the bike roll through there quicker. Nice, roll it on, stay standing. Work it. Nice. See, when he stands all the way through there, right, the bike just stays up in the stroke. And then as he goes into the transition of the ramp, then he really can load it well. There's not like two stages going on as he goes towards it. And especially, like it's nice and smooth, but if that's rough, you want to be in the habit of standing. Good job, that's nice. Yes! Nice. Good shit. Yeah, awesome. The turn's real nice. So you're just leading with that foot better and then just sitting a little further forward, especially in conditions like that, right, where the surface is sort of shifty, you know, it's like a hard base with then there's not a lot of, you don't have a lot of traction, right? So you just got to make sure you weight the front and the rear nice and balanced, so that just keep sitting into that, I always call it that pocket of the seat, right? Yeah. But that was way better, and the distance, because it was good. You're probably now ready with the amount of speed you're carrying to actually accelerate with one, like take away the actual transition acceleration. So come out of here, right, the way you just did it, accelerate hard and then just let the bike roll off the ramp with the same technique, because where you're going slightly soft on the power, that's how I explained it to Maddie, you need to just accelerate past that point into the base around and let it roll. Right, you won't be accelerating to the top of the ramp, but it will be somewhere to the first third of the ramp and then you'll just let it roll off. You're completely ready for that.
So don't accelerate all the way up.
Nah, not like you are, because at the moment, right, you're doing like how I would say like stage 2 of jumping, in my opinion. Like I sort of, when I start with someone that is, and by all means you're not horrible technique, but to get the confidence up, I always start with them like really close to a ramp and I move backwards further and further away from the ramp, right? To get them to commit, to understand the commitment, right? For you, you're in stage 2, where you know how to jump, but it's gaining that confidence and using that RPM in the base of the ramp like you are. That's how you gain that confidence, you know, to really gel with the bike. On this jump, especially, you're ready now to accelerate all the way through, like Jesse or any of those guys over there are, right? To go up and let the bike actually float off the top of the ramp. I would say on your bike at the speed you're traveling, it's going to be somewhere into here, I would say, because you're not, if it was, you know, say one of these pro guys, it would be slightly further because they'd be scrubbing it, they'd be absorbing more energy as they take off. But for you, at the level you're at, it will be somewhere into here. It's definitely not to the top of the ramp because you'll be doing a fipple at that point, you know, but it'll be somewhere into there. But if you don't want to, that's fine. But I was just saying, like, you know, you're at the point. But the biggest thing, this is where, not that it goes wrong, but where people, they actually don't stay present with doing it the way they've just been doing in terms of their posture. Does that make sense? Yeah. So like all they'll be thinking about is, right, I'm going to power till then, and then all the other stuff goes out the window. Yeah. You got to be still so present with actually using the correct technique, because you need to more than ever, right? Because you're approaching a jump with more speed. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. Like so many times where it'll go wrong at going to this next level, is all the other shit will go out the window, right? And they've done the commitment, and then it goes wrong, but it's because they haven't melted forward, they haven't stayed, you know, like in that central part of the bike approach, and they're just like that. Yeah. So you've got to stay present with all the other pieces of the puzzle. You can't add one more really high element and the rest of it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I'll get the go. Stay forward. That was half-hearted, right? So you accelerated super hard past me, and then there was like a little titter-tatter on the top. Don't do that. Just accelerate past Matty, right? Use him as a marker point. Go past him, and then just back off after that. Don't think about that until you're there. Focus now on the present. Man.
Out a little bit.
Yeah, but it was much better.
It felt way better.
Yeah, well, I couldn't really see as much, but to me it looked like you floated really nice.
Yeah, and it felt like fast too, you know, like, and I had to like soak the jump a bit, like, because I was coming into it so much faster, it makes you like.
These are unreal.
They're so good, eh?
White chocolate raspberry. Mate, they are so...
They're good, eh?
Let's make these.
Yeah.
Wow.
In that Thermo mix, bro.
As you're sitting, you're using your front brake and you're slightly shifting away. You've just got to sit nice and square on the bike and roll. You're sort of in and off the clutch and brake, and like everything's sort of you're using, you know, that reaction.
Yeah.
That I talk
I'm just
about.
reacting to the bike
all
constantly.
the time. Yeah, so you've got to just soften all of those elements. Got to sit a little squarer, just relax a little more. Like in terms of all of that will just allow you just to feel more fluid. You're sort of fighting against it the whole way through. The first thing you need to do is, as you come onto the track, make sure you've got a clear vision, no one's in front of you, and carry a little more momentum. So you just, because it's an uphill corner, right? It's fully uphill until somewhere about there, and that will just allow you just to roll through there, because you're using the power so early. Two things, because you're not carrying enough momentum in, and then secondly, because you're using the front brake, so you're having to use the power to drive it forward. Exactly. Yep. Lift more intensity here. Ready, set, go. Let's stick to second for now. That was so far your best lap entering by far with momentum. Right, now calm that down. That was really like you committed. Like that's exactly what I said, but that was like a lot of clutch. Nice. Good. Come and look at something. That was your best, probably your best overall lap. Like you sat square, You were nice and fluid up until about here. There was a little bit notchy on the throttle here and clutch. Good. You know one thing that stands out, right? There's way more intent there going to the corner.
Yeah.
I noticed there at one point, I don't know if it's hard to say, but at one point, it looked like you were right in the middle, right there. You just were a little bit tentative, and then as soon as you started to relax again, you just flowed through there. Yeah. That's a big improvement, man.
Crazy.
Yeah, big improvement. As you're sitting, you're being really aggressive on that front brake or heavy. Just soften the front brake as you sit. Come on, brake before you sit. Go. Much better. Good. Still executed it well, but I'm telling you that was by chance, because when you stand a little deeper, you control your braking better. Come on, momentum again. Ready, set, go! Dude, that's a massive gain, eh? Massive momentum, huge momentum gain. We're gonna go and practice that turn there. And this is at a fast point. So anything, right? The faster, the higher that level of intensity is. Yeah, exactly. You've got to have that length of vision.
Because I'm looking like at the rut.
Yeah, exactly. Right, long vision, Jace, long. When you come through that first rut, the straight one, you're like using your hands to control the bike. Use your feet and your power. So back in that rut back there, right? Longer vision, grip with your ankles and power. Don't use your hands. Your hands are just along for the ride. Calm the throttle down, mate. Just trail it. Just be nice and calm. But if you jerk that throttle, it's going to really upset the inertia of the bike. So you're really using, are using a lot below your hips. So you are like that, but you just got to come forward at your hips to get a little more weight to the front wheel. You're more like this. You need to just come forward a little bit more at your hips through this part especially. When you come through those straight ruts, don't use your hands. Use your vision and your power. Yes. Not bad, not bad. You just, as you got to the exit of the line, you didn't lean and go with it, right? So as this was all good through here, that was much better. And then because of that, you carried more speed to that point, and then you couldn't follow the line. You have that vision and use your power to follow it out.
One.
Nice. Just let those elbows go supple as you come out of there.
One.
Yes, Gypsy. Yes. Good shit. Yeah, so I finished the day here. MX Farm was awesome. Like they laid on a spread for us. It had jam and cream, but like those scones and yelling up or nanning up, or yeah. Anyway, did the step up to start with. Then we did a long left-hand rut, and then a sweeping right-hand corner. So 3 totally different sessions throughout the day. And one of the big things for Jace today, and the left-hander up there, long left-hand rut, was just staying nice. I call it stacked, right? Head, shoulders, hips, everything stacked above his feet and staying nice and balanced and balance with the bike. So that was a big factor for him to work on. Jumping wise, I call it like stage 1, 2 and 3 of jumping. you know, and he was probably in that stage 2. I'm trying to get him to stage 3, which is like attacking the jump at full commitment and then just letting the bike glide off the ramp. So he probably didn't quite get to that level, but certainly in stage 2, the big thing was just letting his body work with the bike, not fighting it as he went off the ramp. That was a big gain for him there. The left-hand rut was definitely the biggest gain. As he was going in, there was a lot of things that I talk about that if for every action there's a reaction, so he'd be using that front brake quite aggressively, so the bike would dive and then it would pitch backwards as he let the brake off. Sometimes he would power, so there it was getting him to have the confidence to let the bike roll in. When he would go in, he would be off centre of the bike, so keeping him nice and square above the bike, and made huge progress with that. And then by the time he got, you know, sort of, I work in thirds around the corner, you know, your entrance, your mid corner, and then the exit. That last third, just making sure that he was seated above the foot pegs, so that he had the ability just to raise his leg and have his leading leg, I call it, in the correct position, so he would be able to maximise his exit. So yeah, this was good. Really, really productive day for him, I guess. I love coaching one-on-one. It's my specialty. I really analyse riders in the way that what they're doing on the bike, and feel like I can help them or influence them to make a change pretty quickly.
Go now!
But the biggest thing is for them to understand why. That's what I try to really articulate to them, is why you're doing this, and then hopefully they then feel that immediately if they do apply it. So yeah, it was good. Yeah, he did good. It was awesome.
Boo!
What's up, you mother? What's up, you f***ing no, what's up, everyone? We're at day 2 of Ben Townley's little Make Gypsy Ride Slightly Better Than the Shittest Rider in the World project. So we're out here at my boy Joey Van's track today, and I guess we'll see if we can just squeeze any more speed out of this old tired motocross rider.
Like fully fucking cooked.
So similar to yesterday, as you come through, everything above your hips is it's either pushing back or you're just hanging onto the handlebars. You've got to make sure you push out from those hips, right? So your bum pushes back and you're down low with your upper body, because your head and shoulders was up so high and just so much length in your arms. You watch Jack, how like he's at his hips, he's pivoting forward. So his bum's pushed out. See how low his head is? Head's a lot lower. Your head was up really, really high, so you're up in a really compromised position. You've got to get all that mass into a lower position. Yeah. Now you've got to soften that posture and work more with the bike. You're like really rigid. Same posture, but just be softer. Nice and soft. That's better. That's better.
No way.
Yeah, but the big point that I was making, right, is how much lower your head and shoulders were. Like we didn't get the first lap here when you went out.
I feel like
you were so much higher, right? And then because of that, there's it creates that big mechanical seesawing action. You stay lower. The whole idea, right, is to look at the wheel. The wheel didn't leave the ground until that one there, you know, like he's driving in and he's so much lower. Like.
So what should I try and think about this run?
just focus on sealing the bike to the ground the whole time. And when you get the confidence to do that, it's going to allow you to relax your upper body and just let the bike. You should never be wrestling with a motorcycle. You're just at one with it.
Yeah.
Nice. Just coming up a little bit in the middle here. Middle, you start really well, but you just come up. I potentially think that's because you're quite a way back, and if you come a little lower with your chest through there, it'll have a little more weight. Yeah, weight bias. Yeah. That improved a lot. But watch. Look at it. Look at his head. Look at his head. Up until about here, his head was above his handlebars. Up until about there. Right. Melt that head forward. Nice, much better, much better.
How do you mean, like, when you say drive with your heels and shit in?
Yeah,
like,
so basically, as you come out of the turn, you get those gear changes, that heel has to be below the foot peg, you know, like, if that's the foot peg, it has to be below it, so that you're forcing the bike into the ground. As soon as it's above it, it allows your whole body to pivot or pitch forward, right? When it's below it, you're locking down and actually forcing the bike down into the ground.
Am I doing it, do you think?
Yeah, shit, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Let's do a few more. I'd be keen to do some starts today as well.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. Nice, good run. That was another good one, and that goes back to that point though, mid section there, where you're just a little, rigid, right? So up there, you just got to let that happen, right? You react to those little movements a lot. Up until that point there, that was a really good run, and then when that bike moved, it sort of shifted slightly. You've just got to let it do it, and you follow it. Don't fight against it. Right there.
Let's do it.
How I explain what's going on with Jet is when I was at my best, I believe it would be very similar, is racing at times would feel almost like it's in slow motion to him, especially when he's physically racing with somebody. Like, he would have more time to do something than his competitors, because he is completely so locked into the way that he does it. Nothing is ever a scramble for him to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see it too.
Oh, you can, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just come forward. Right. You show me what you're doing. The first thing that stands out is when you're in the gate, you gotta toe in some more, right? So you're gonna get better tension.
Toe in more?
Yeah, because as you went over the gate, you started to really come back. It's not easy because obviously it's uphill, but then you have to exaggerate everything because it's uphill. So it'll make you a better starter because of that. But definitely got to set up and like draw your toes in so you get a better tension and grip to the bike right from that point there. Right, toes in tighter. Yes. So much better. See how your legs stayed locked in then? Like, because you had them set up better. The one thing you do need to do, just watching that, your feet need to be lighter in the gate. There's too much weight and you're taking too much weight with your body, so you need to lighten the load. I always say to people, all right, you keep your feet tight and light. They've got to be tight and light all at the same time.
So what do you mean about lighter?
Yeah, so go set up like you're in the gate, right? So just have them lighter, like as in like the weight on the ground is lighter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then you're too rigid with your upper body, right? Lock in here, like right against the foot pegs. Yeah, exactly, and then you melt forward. Yep. Don't be in a rush. Like, take your time to set up, get your feet done. Take your time. Like, it's like I didn't even have the gate ready and you're like, ready to go, you know. A race never starts until the gate drops. Keep those toes light. All your weight should be in the seat, none in the ground. and I guess we talked about hips, but your hands got off-centered, right? So you pulled hard back, and then you know, you're not getting a lot of traction here, but you're getting decent amount, and then because of that, everything sort of follows.
Pulled.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes a lot of sense then, that like, you just got to be so, because the one that I did that was real good, it just felt like, it felt like I didn't do anything.
But you think about anything the last 2 days, like a rut, a jump,
it's all been
rollers, right? You know, when it's felt right, it just feels, it feels like butter, right?
Yeah.
You see how quick he lifted his feet?
He does it before he even gets out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, there's so much wheel spin, the bike isn't, it's uphill, there's not a lot of thrust going forward, but still, if you ever watch the best starters, you know, like Cairoli, he was like the most consistent starter for, well shit, I raced him in 2004, like back when I was like 38 then. I thought I'd get in first, eh? Nah, he never won his starts from his reactions. He won his starts from when his back wheel hit the ground there, because his feet were on the pegs and the bike was driving. So if you watch a start, his front wheel is even until there, and then a good starter will then get the benefit from that point. If everyone's the same in the reaction, if you get your feet on, you're supporting the drive. You know, it's like going through these rollers. You're maximising the drive at that point there. Is when your feet are light, when they're heavy, the first movement that happens for your bike is it goes down. So like if you release the clutch, you have to physically lift your feet. So instead of the bike, like if you put that in slow motion, right? The bike's there, you lift your feet, the bike goes down before it goes forward. If your feet are really light, the bike's already settled into its heaviest points, and then it just goes directly.
You can literally feel the difference under you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you'll feel the bike just settle down. Yeah. And then at that point as well, you've got less tension, right? Because you're not actually physically holding any.
Yeah, you feel lighter.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No, that's a crazy good tip.
Yeah, boy. Good work. Recap of the day, it was a good day here. We didn't spend a lot of time like we did yesterday in terms of cornering technique or jumping. We did some rollers, some starts. It was good. Rollers, for him, it was sort of carryover from yesterday. It was posture above his hips. He's quite rigid and needs to be a little bit more supple and just sort of work. He does really good below his hips, connecting with the bike, but he needs to support it by being a little more supple in his upper body. And then with his starts, did well. Got him to just get his feet in a little tighter to the bike and just make sure that as he released the clutch, he was synchronized and letting his chest fall forward as he released the clutch and applied the power. So it was good. Another solid day for the Gyppo. Hey?
Should I go to the QMP National this weekend?
Yeah, just line up, bud.
Show these boys how to fuck or what?
Yeah, line up, bud. So yeah, bloody good couple of days. I think Gypsy learned a lot, would have gained a lot more confidence, and that's what it's about, is, you know, applying those, you know, better habits or techniques that you can then gain that confidence from. So